looking for the perfect property, have not found it. Should you, or are you going to settle for less? Stay tuned. We've got some fun facts.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes, episode 518. Myself, Michael BURGIO, Mark Novak. You're not picking a wife, you're picking a property. Mark had a very interesting conversation with a buyer yesterday, and I've had many conversations like this with my mates and buddies before. So we thought we should sort of rip into it and go for it. Mark, good morning.
Hey, I can't believe I said fun facts at the beginning. That sounded so gay.
Yeah.
Candy.
This is all opinion. This opinions with
Stay
some
tuned
facts.
for some fun facts.
So what do we mean by that?
Yeah.
I think, so what we mean by this really comes in when people are looking, say at a lower budget property, and if you close your eyes and you run through the numbers, you run through your situation, you're like, this is great. But then you open your eyes and the property may not be looking how you want to look, or it just visually is not there for you, but everything else makes sense. And we find that's a big obstacle for buyers, especially first home buyers. It's almost like they want the best looking property at the budget prices. But what you got to really ask yourself, why are you buying this property? You're not picking a wife, you're picking an investment. So let's look at it. Mark, talk us through.
And g'day David Guzzo, you legend, Anmar, Michelle, Luke. It goes, you know what? And I have the conversation continually, and I hear all the time, I feel really bad for my kids. How the hell are my kids ever going to afford it? I don't agree. Because then I put under their nose something, anything, a property. And they'll go, yeah, nah, I don't really want a one better for them, or yeah, nah, I don't really like that location, or yeah, nah, I don't really. And it's like, man, you're not marrying your kid off for life with this property. You know, it's not going to be something that you are battened down with and are forced to live in the rest of your life. It's simply money in the market. That's all it is. It's like having a Tesla stock or an Apple stock, or I don't know stocks, but a good stock. And it doesn't matter if you have 1 cent of it or a million of it, you've got that stock. So it's the same thing when you're with property and the principle of property and getting into property. Just get in there. Don't be so precious and fancy about it.
Yeah, people want like their first property to look like their dream property, and they almost, I don't know if it's a bit of, they almost think, like when you're saying location, that they're like, oh, it doesn't look good. It's almost like they act like they got to walk around in their social circle with a photo of the unit they buy, and people are going to judge them. They're going to judge them and go, oh, you own that? Oh, no.
And I said that yesterday. That's right. You know, little Billy bought here. And I said yesterday to someone, I said, are you buying it to just sort of get money in the market, or are you buying it to tell your friends and family? Like, because at the end of the day, you just, you know, who cares? You got money in the market. It's rented. It's geared. It goes up. It goes up just as much as anything else. Whether you buy 1, 2, or 3 better, they all go up equally in value. Fact. I've had this arm wrestle for 28 bloody years. Fact. Houses, units, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, they all go up the same.
Yeah, and that's where it's.
What's Luke got to say?
Kids will afford if they invest, then buy the dream home after 30 years. That's exactly right. Like, 100%. And like where this really where people get stuck, like we've had phone conversations that go like this, and you had it yesterday. You're on the phone to the buyer, they give you their requirements and what they're looking for as an investment, and you're like, great, I've got this one in Alambia, it's 580, it rents for 20 grand, your proposed interest would be 18,000 a year, it's got this, it's got that, and like, oh my god, that ticks all the boxes. And you're like, great. You send in the web link and they're like, oh, no, that doesn't look good. It's like, what looks are you going for here? A visual look or a financial look? Are you buying a property to look at or as an investment?
But these guys have $1 million dream but a $500 budget. And even that's okay. That's okay because you can buy the 500,000, rent the 500,000, rent it out, and then get a rental which is worth $1 million. You can still have your cake and eat it too. So I'm not saying you just spoke about. Now, as an owner occupier, it's like, I can't live in a one bedder. I've got 2 kids, or I can't live in a one bedder. It would suck. So it's all right. We'll buy the studio and rent it out. Buy the one bedder and rent it out, and go and find a rental for yourself, which is exactly what you want. At least you've got the money in the market, because what was being said by Luke is, if you wait to 35 or 45 to buy your desired property, while you're saving 50 grand over 5 years, the property value has gone up 150 grand over 5 years. So it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and we've seen in all our experience, the ugly properties still go up in value at the same, if not sometimes more than the pristine ones. Because look at a knockdown, for example. We've seen tremendous, it sometimes doesn't make sense what a knockdown house will sell for, knowing you got to spend $1 million on $800K on it, compared to a fairly renovated home. Like, Mark, we had the discussion where Lisa sold Arthur Street for 2.1, basically a knockdown, and renovated homes are selling 2.4, 2.5. We're like, wow, it's better to buy the ugly one, just for simple words for the conversation here. But a lot of people get caught up in that barrier, and you hit the nail on the head there. If you, let's say,
Burge, look at Lisa when she was young. She wasn't as good looking as she is now.
Yeah, like wine, just gets better over time. You got to make the investment.
I'm going to get shot.
Yeah, but
sorry, where were you?
That's the point. And a lot of people don't put 2 and 2 together. Are you living in it? Is it an investment? And if it's an investment, treat it like an investment. If the figures make sense. And we come from this angle, because sometimes looks will matter with other things. Like the color of the car, sometimes people won't like that. But with property, time and time again, the uglier property, they have done so well. So we're coming from a lot of runs on the board, seeing the ugly properties, tremendous growth, and they rent. People, there's someone to pay for everything.
Off track a little bit, and I'll bring it back real quick. An exotic car that's a stupid color. Like, I love a black on black. It's a stupid color. Or even if it's like an A4 or something, stupid color, you will buy it for 10 grand cheaper. You will buy it for 20% less. Wrap it black if it was a bloody burnt orange color. My point is, at least it's smart. It's smart just to get in there. So to take it back on the lessons from today, and to conclude on what we said, get in at whatever cost, at whatever level, and don't be precious, because it's money in the market. Even if it's a property that you inevitably want to live in, or even if it's a property as an investment, it's money in the market. I'd rather have half the money in the market or 3/4 of the money in the market of my dream property than $0 in the market, which most people have when they are waiting to buy a property or their next property. Get conservative.
Yeah, like a perfect example of horror stories is this year. Think last year. Imagine anybody who, let's say February, and obviously this is a belated example, but it's truth. Let's say January, you had a budget of 1.2 to buy a house, but you really wanted to live in something worth 1.4, and then you don't buy it because you're like, oh, a couple of months, I got commission coming, whatever. I hopefully will be able to stretch it to buy the $1.4 million property. The market's gone up 50%. Yep. That 1.4 is now over 2. The 1.2, the 1.2 is well over 1.8. Now you can't even buy the ugly property you wouldn't buy only a few months ago. But if you just bought it, waited, then that's gone up in value. You've got equity. You may be able to make that jump. So it's the importance of being in the market. Don't just miss the main road location. They all go, yeah.
Okay, so Lisa just sold a property on Ringa Road, right? Ring Road is like New Southhead Road, is like Parramatta Road, is like Pittwater Road, is a busy, busy road. Who the hell would want to live on Pittwater Road? But guess what? It's a beautiful home. When you're inside, it's quiet. And guess what else the best part is? Take me off Ringer Road at $200,000, $300,000 for the exact same house. So when you, and this is what people, this is the where people have it completely wrong in their head. Exactly what Lisa just said. The value of the property goes up if it's the best street in the suburb or the worst street in the suburb. The percentage, I guarantee you, and I dare to debate this with anyone, will be the same.
Yeah, very. And you know what? We're talking, and this obviously, if you're out there and you've got and the budget doesn't matter, fair enough. Buy the beautiful home straight away. But
of course,
of course. So we're not saying do this, but we are. There is a big portion, a majority of people, I think, are catching themselves, are just hurting themselves by, I don't know, the I don't want to call it insecurity because they're embarrassed to say they own that.
It's like a mental barrier.
It's like a mental barrier internally.
Yeah.
So what we're saying
is, they will sit on their hands for 2 years. Nah, no good.
Yeah, they will. So look at first of all, we've always said it, separate it. Are you buying an owner to live in or an investment? If it's investment, really look at the numbers. That's what it's there for. It's an investment. If it's owner occupier, of course, it'll be great if you can buy your dream home. But if not, buying something is better than nothing, and work your way to the dream home or rent your dream home. We've done many shows on it's just as good, if not better, sometimes to rent. You can sometimes rent a far better property than you could ever buy. So buy the cheaper property and go rent something better than you thought you could ever imagine.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
And look, a lot of, I had a comment the other day on my social media. Someone said, and I was talking about affordability, and they said, try being a mum and having 2 kids and one wage. I do have to say, I know I'm going into sensitive territory here, but I do have to say, where there is a will, there is a way. If you are that mum that wants to afford, pick up the friggin' phone and ring me, and I will help you and show you a way to do it. Because I see people that are happy to having a whinge on affordability. I see people that are happy to put on social media about the whinge of affordability, but I don't see people making an approach to agents like me and saying, look, these are my obstacles. Got the kids, smaller wage. Is there a way? That's what's really important, because I believe affordability with these interest rates, and you can fix them for 5 years, the incentives that are out there, particularly for single parents, particularly for first home buyers, people should stop complaining and people should start getting shit done, and don't be a bit modest on your purchase.
And ask for help. Don't be embarrassed to not ask for help. And the same as don't be embarrassed to say you own a 500K unit that doesn't look great, because in a few years' time with that growth going, it's there. So I think that's the main message out there.
Accepting, we don't want to sound like property snobs, but in our area, in our particular area, accepting that most parts of Sydney and Australia and Melbourne and Queensland, that's a phenomenal dollar value and a home. But in our area, it's quite a conservative purchase, and that's what we're talking about today.
Perfect. I think that's a wrap. Anything? Yeah.
That's a wrap. Have a good day. Burge, I hope you get a haircut soon, my friend.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. Very soon. Alrighty, everyone. Thank you.
See you, mate.